Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Freewheeling Fridays with Java Capital. I have Vinod with me. We'll be joined by Bhargavi shortly. Hey, Vinod, welcome.
Hey Karthik, good to be back again for the consecutive episode. Since we've been missing with all this happening, and I think good to be back. Yeah, and I
Yeah,
can show off my earpods finally.
yeah, yeah. Finally, looks good, man. Those are new AirPods, man. I am. This is unacceptable. Nobody should get that for free. You want to tell the story
Thanks to
behind those earphones?
thanks to some kind souls at NSRCL. Uh, I think I couple of mentor sessions, and they gave this as a compliment, for the service. How to get free AirPods only for VCs, Karthik.
VC edition.
Yeah, and you won't believe, they had also what do you call? See, put the name
Yeah, the
and give it.
engraving, right? It's
Very,
super nice.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
I think that's
it cannot
like
get any
pretty
better
cool.
than that.
Better than that, absolutely. I mean, I was wanting it, but given the size of the font, right, I was like, okay, we'll wait for.
That's why I bought mine before we started this.
Yeah,
Vinod, I think your internet is, really here and there. We lost you for a bit, but we can hear
uh,
you. Anyway,
okay.
welcome, guys. Thanks for joining us. If you have any questions or any comments that you guys want to share, please feel free to enter them in the comments or just tweet them under the video, and we'll be able to display your comment and maybe even potentially pull you into the conversation, right? So yeah, great week, man. This finally it's been raining a little bit in Bangalore for a couple of days.
Yeah,
Nice cool breeze. I see a change of weather already. Hopefully the situation with COVID also gets better. It looks like the numbers are staying below 4 lakh all of this week. I think that is some good news, in terms of the new cases, right? Anyway, so so for today's episode, right, we're gonna introduce our new investment. So one of the founders from this company is going to join us. I'm gonna talk a little bit about a couple of things that have caught my eye. Anything else? Do we have planned for this session, Vinod?
nothing. I think this is going to be another freewheeling session. We don't have too much of plans, but I think we can talk about upscale. Okay, had mentioned the name. So we'll have the founder joining us shortly. I
Yeah.
hope so. And um,
So this
uh,
was an investment that we announced last week during our freewheeling, but we couldn't get the founders. But they were not available last week, so we're doing it this week. So they'll be joining us today and talk a little bit about what they're doing with the company and also what's happening given the COVID situation, etc. Right? How it is to fundraise in a situation like this. In addition to that, I think one thing that I wanted to. Oh, by the way, happy Eid and happy Akshaya
yeah,
Tritiya to everybody.
everyone.
Uh,
Yes.
so if you haven't bought your gold yet, just go and buy on Phone Pay or Paytm or Google Pay, or wherever you want to buy the gold, right? So yeah, good, good, good. So we have a couple of minutes before the founders join us. Um, so what's happening with the SPACs, man? Have you seen that story on Chamath's SPAC in Bloomberg?
I'm hearing. Yeah, he's been like told off. Yeah. But I think the other news that caught Karthik, since we were on COVID, right? There is this news yesterday where the founder of Ethereum, Vitalik, uh,
Hmm.
I mean, he donated
Donated a
in like
billion dollar
Shiba
plus.
coins, $1 billion. Like craziness, right? When we saw it yesterday morning, And $1 billion is huge, right? I don't know. I mean, rough math says, we could vaccinate, half of India with that kind of money at like an average cost, whatever that is.
Yeah,
Vaccinate half
yeah,
of India, right? So that's like huge, right? We should talk about it, right? Like, and we should also
for
talk
sure,
about,
for sure.
this founder of Matic, right? Sandeep, who's been running the India Crypto Relief Fund, right? And I saw this message first when he put it on 24th April, I think. And I think he said, look, nobody is taking charge. I am taking charge, and I'll bear the responsibility for all expenses, all regulations, what may come. Let's not worry about how. Let's worry about saying why should we do this and how should we kind of end up doing this. That was some phenomenal thing that he did, and I think that's added up quite a bit, right? And yeah, Matic is not so well known in the circles, but looks like they've been doing like a phenomenal amount of work. Kudos to them, and that's a shout out to the COVID relief, crypto COVID relief team. And great, I just dived deep yesterday. I joined the Discord group of the COVID relief fund yesterday. Interesting, how they're operating. This voluntary driven organization, and extremely organized and transparent. That's what I could see from when I went into the Discord channel and looked at what's all happening yesterday. So phenomenal work, yeah. Kudos. That's a shout out, Karthik, to Matic. Yeah.
That's interesting, man. That's amazing. Yeah, kudos to all the guys. In fact, we haven't really talked a lot about this part, but even the startup community has come together. They've raised more than I think when I last checked, it was about 350 crores or something, which is not chump change at all, right? Everybody in the startup community have come together to do this, and they're buying like hundreds or thousands of oxygen concentrators, etc. So I think what's heartening here is in times of crisis, the private community has like really stepped up to address some of these ills. What was striking to me was the deaths because of lack of oxygen, right? Which in my book is inexcusable, are happening all across, right? I just saw the news in about some hospital in Goa, where some 70 odd people have
Goa.
died. I mean, what I don't understand is like, why should this keep happening over and over again, right? I mean, isn't it enough that it happened in Karnataka, it happened in Andhra, it has to happen in Goa also, it has to happen in MP also? It's just shocking, how this system has come up so short. Anyway, in this gloom and doom, I think more good news is apparently we're gonna have some 2 billion doses that will be available by the end of December. That announcement has already been made, and the guy who made the announcement said that we should be really proud of it already. So I'm sure it's a huge number, right? It's a mammoth task that nobody has ever done before. It's fantastic, and I think if not all the way through, we'll definitely get 60% of the population vaccinated by the end of this year, which is a good thing. They're saying that the third wave will hit October, so it's better to get as many people vaccinated before that. All right, I think I'm getting some messages, but yeah, looks like Sandeep is here, so let's bring him in. Hi,
Hey,
Sandeep.
good evening. Hi, Karthik. Hi, Vinod. Hi, Bhargavi.
Hi.
Hey, Sandeep,
How are
you
you?
look like shining glory. You're positioning, right? The sun at the
There's
back.
there's a halo. There's a halo around.
Halo effect, Sandeep.
Look, I think all entrepreneurs have halo around them. It's just that we can see Sandeep's right now.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Welcome, Sandeep. How have you
Awesome.
been?
Great. Yeah.
I am doing good. I am currently in a village in Rajasthan as of now. That's why a lot of sunlight, kind of an open place over here.
Oh wow, that's nice. Couldn't complain
Yeah.
about it. I hope it's not too hot though.
Not really. not really as much it is in the other parts of India.
That's good. That's good. So, Sandeep, I'm okay. While I'm trying to figure this out, right? Let me just ask you the opening question.
Sure.
We announced the investment in your company last week, but we couldn't get you guys on the show last week. So we thought, we'll bring you in this time around and um, ask you to explain how the process has been in terms of fundraise and what it is that you guys do in your own words, right?
Right. So Karthik, I'll begin with how did we start? Why did we start this company? Then I'll focus on the process of the fundraise.
Sure.
In fact, it has been a very interesting process with you guys coming the second time, converting. So
Hey, you're only supposed to say good things, okay? Just keep that in
yeah.
mind.
So Karthik, you see, with so much of noise today and so much of competition out there in the B2B space, so many different technologies vying for the same customer's mind space. Sales and marketing function has become so much harder today than it was even before. I faced this myself when I used to do cold outreach at my previous first startup, InfiSecure. I knew that personalized communication was the way to customers' heart and even pockets, of course, but ensuring that every mail, every communication was tailored to perfection ate in a lot of time I had to make a sale. I had to do a lot of research, go on different platforms, understand how can I personalize the context, what to say on a call or when should I send or interact on LinkedIn. So this became a paradox, and it's a paradox that everyone working in sales has faced, and one that has no easy answers. For every company, for every startup, for every sale, for every kind of sale value, it differs. So we are currently on a quest to solve this paradox with the help of automation intelligence through a platform I've co-founded with my friends. It's called Upscale. I have always enjoyed the idea of making a difference to the sales community. Upscale is my way of helping those stuck in trying to solve the sales paradox with. So that's what we do. We have a platform which helps sales automate all the outreach functions, which includes a multi-channel outreach capability, emails, phone calls, LinkedIn actions, etc. And so that sales teams can get a lot of intelligence as to what is working for them, what is not working for them, what communication works, on which day it works, what kind of a touch point works, so that they can further amplify it by making optimization and changes. The platform we would want to evolve into a more intelligent capability with time by putting a lot of intelligence from all the sales activities that sales teams do, and we put all of this intelligence back to CRMs to visualize. That is what we do. We started back in June, July last year when we started to build a team. We were pretty clear as to no matter when the investment comes, how it comes, we are going to build this because we have to. So we started building this platform. In sometime in September, October, we launched the MVP, which was a very buggy platform. Of course, we wanted to get a lot of feedback at that time. We were pitching to many investors, got to understand a lot, and we used to have around 4 to 5 calls in a week with several investors, and finally we closed. We interacted with GSF, which brought in other investors, including there were a bunch of investors, including Java, including Powerhouse Ventures, and that's how we closed our first investment.
All right. Thanks for that, Sandeep.
Yeah.
So, you talked a little bit about, raising funds, right? Because it's still fresh in your memory, and, sometimes a lot of young founders listen to this show. So why don't you just give some sense about like when is the right time for people to hit the ground running, right? As far as funding is concerned.
Right. So this is a very, according to our experience, a very tricky and simple thing both ways. It is important to talk to investors, but not all investors, according to my view, to get an idea on what you are building. Does it make sense? Do you need to change something from the learnings that you can get from investors? But in the meanwhile, you should also have a vision as to what is that you are going to build, how is it going to make a difference, and keep making that difference. The learning that you get from market, you will never get it from any investor. You will learn a lot from your market, your customers. Validate that. Have conviction yourself that you are able to provide value. This solution is solving a problem which is worth solving, and then you further amplify your outreach as to we have to raise funds now, we have to close a round now. But maybe there are some angel investors and some small funds with whom you can go and speak to get some indications, some idea. I think it helped us a lot when we interacted with investors with respect to our pitch deck, the story that we were telling. Now when we look at the first pitch deck that we had, the story that we had completely changed when we were pitching at the last time, and we could envision as to what we were doing initially. What was that? I mean, when we look at it now, we couldn't believe that we did this. Why? So that's the kind of learning that comes when you pitch. You evolve every day, but you have to evolve every day. You have to go back and look at your pitch deck, your story. You have to learn from every pitch that you make and change, keep changing. So that's what one and two key takeaways that we have. One is keep changing and improvising on your story, and understand, have the conviction that this problem is worth solving and you are able to make a difference. Then go, full blown.
So yeah, essentially, keep the feedback loop going in, right?
Yes.
So that's the takeaway from there. Bhargavi, you want to jump in? You have a question?
Yeah. So see, this is one question which many people have asked me, right? How are these guys different? So I'm sure for many people watching as well, because this is a space where a lot of other spaces come together and it's become like one big gray area, right? So if you have to tell a couple of key differentiating things, and if you have to elaborate on that, I think it will be good.
Yes, Bhargavi, sure. First, I'll focus, since this sales and marketing space, specifically sales technology, is so big. So first, I would like to explain where do we fit in. So there is a data space which has been captured by players who provide contact data and intent data. So our platform seamlessly integrates with these players, with these companies, including a Crunchbase or a G2 Crowd, which provides intent data. So, but we do not provide contact data or intent data. We provide a capability wherein you can seamlessly integrate all of these capabilities into our platform and start activation. The second big space is the CRM space. Again, we are not there, but we compete. We integrate. We sit on top of CRMs. CRMs stays as a system of record, and we stay as a system of activity. So we make sure that your sales reps keep on doing those activities, and that data goes back into CRMs in a very good way, so that tomorrow when you look at data, it can make sense. You can understand something out. You don't leave it to the sales rep to input any kind of data. So that becomes a uniform way of updating the CRM. Then there is another space where you provide, there are so many tools that sales reps use, which includes emails, maybe a Zoom capability, intercom, WhatsApp. We are not there. We again integrate with all of these players into our capability to provide you one place, including LinkedIn, so that you don't have to go to so many places and browse to so many places. So it all comes under one platform that saves you time, right? And so now how we are different in this space. We only play at the prospecting level. So how do you quickly get a meeting, and how do you convert that quickly? So getting a meeting is a big challenge for SDRs. That is why they exist. Their main role is to fix up qualified meetings. So we make sure that Sales reps do that very intelligently in the quickest possible time. So we give all the intelligence, all the tools, all the capabilities that a sales rep would need to personalize the outreach, to have those talking points on the tips while making that phone call. We make sure that you don't have to go to so many platforms to do your research. You can have that data there and then itself under one application, and everything is seamlessly connected.
Great. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for this.
Sure. Bye.
So Sandeep, you mentioned earlier, right? But we came in the second time, right? And we also know that the second you are a second time founder, right? You tried something in the B2B space earlier, right? So what does it mean that if when you're going to do this, what lessons have you got and bringing to the table in this experience when you're doing it for the second time?
Sure, Vinod. That's a very important question and a very relevant one, close to my heart. So, Vinod, there has been a lot of learnings. The first learning has been, and it can be taken in different ways, but don't preserve cash for the long run. Make experiments, make it work. Either you do it fast, you learn fast, you die fast, but you do it fast. You don't have the luxury of time. You have to do your experiment fast, you have to pivot fast. So the last time we did is we took a lot of time actually, which we were thinking that we have the cash in the bank, but we were not focusing on learning fast, getting those customers fast. So here what we are doing is we are carefully making sure that we are doing pilots, we are validating, we are improving the product, we are learning, but we are not in a chase to get an enterprise today, right? Because we are in early stage as of now, but we are making sure that we move with customers. So the first learning was that keep moving. Have those learnings quick, pivot quick, learn quick. That is what is very important today. The second is the most important thing are the people who are there with you today. So the initial hires that you do today. So I believe we have made a very good investment in people in this startup. I don't mean that we did not have good people in the last startup, but the kind of careful curation that we have done this time, it is like we have such smart people that we don't have to tell them what to do. The engine is running. So when we have these kind of people, the solutions originate by themselves. They tell us what to do, and that makes a lot of difference. In terms of how fast the tech is moving in development, how fast are they resolving customer queries at this early stage, when that is the most important thing for us, which is customer stickiness. We don't want them to bounce, churn. We have to retain them. That is the second important learning, the kind of hires that you do initially. There has to be hustlers. They have to do many things at a time. So what motivates them? Who are these people? Why would they do that? That's a very intelligent choice that has to be made. So I believe we as a team, including Yashu, we feel proud that we have such talented people with us today. That instills a lot of confidence. So that is the second learning from my previous startup that we are inculcating here today. Yeah, these are the two learnings that I would like to focus on.
Awesome, Sandeep. That's great. I think that comes to health. Always a lot of lessons to learn from any exercise. More than if you've not been able to build it successfully in a large way, but still, I think a lot of lessons to take away for all of us. Great to hear that. Anything else, Sandeep, that you would want to share, as a part of fundraising, somebody who's raising, what would you say, like, if there's something that, immediate learning, from the last couple of months or last 6 months, I would say.
Right. I believe, more than, the structure of the deck. So I was having a conversation with a founder friend today. He's on the, in the process of raising funds. He has a great idea and he's working on it. One of the things that we founders at an early stage fundraising process should be focusing too much is on the story, not just the structure of the deck. This is the problem, this is my solution, this is how the big market is. I think if we are focused on why do I want to solve this problem, then the other process becomes very simple, and that is where most founders, most pitch decks don't get it right, I believe. So we had the longest discussion around why do you want to solve this, why you should solve this. So initially, when we are building a story, what made you solve this, what did you learn from your customers, then it becomes a simple job to show that these are my insights, this is how the big market that is, and this is how I want to do things, no matter how far have you reached. But what is that you have learned, and why do you want to do that? That is, I think, a very important thing. The other thing is, keep learning after every pitch. Do not criticize any investor. They will have their opinions, but what did you learn from that pitch? What questions did they ask you? We used to just jot down everything, all the questions that have been asked, and the next day I used to see, there have been some changes, Yashu has made some changes. Okay, those were the kind of learnings and constant changes that we were making, depending upon, are we able to address this? Is this on the slide? Why are they asking such questions? Isn't this obvious? They will ask obvious questions, but how are you covering that? How convincing is your story in the deck itself? How strong the pitch deck is telling a story? That is the second thing that I would say. The third is the most important thing is, don't wait. Keep moving. Sometimes I hear that there is X cost involved in doing this thing. I don't know how to do it. No one knows. You will have to figure out. You will have to find it for yourself. Do it in a cheap way. Do it in a minimal way which allows you to learn something. Just do it. You cannot wait for the investor money to come in, because you are waiting for the investor is waiting for you to move, and it doesn't work that way. If I put myself in the investor's shoes, I would expect the founder to move, and then I will see that, will you move even if I am not there? And that gives me conviction enough. So that is the third thing that I would like to focus on, that keep moving, keep taking small steps, keep learning from customers, keep building the product, find out quick ways, growth hacks to solve where maybe money is involved, maybe people are involved. I think we have a very helpful community today. Even we interacted with investors who referred us to some customers even if they did not invest. That is the kind of world that we live in today. It's a very supportive ecosystem today. So they not only referred it to other investors, but they referred them to their customers, their portfolio companies, where we could do pilot, where we could do even an interview to learn something, that how are they solving this problem today.
Awesome. So, that's great to hear. Yeah.
Yes, that is
great. So I just wanted to ask one thing. What do you want to tell to VCs who could watch this? When are you planning for next fundraise, or do you want them to refer clients?
Bhargavi will always put you on the spot. You expect her.
I like that, Bhargavi. So Java Capital, you have been very helpful. Even without asking for references, you have been doing that. Thanks a lot for that. Thank you for connecting us to sales leaders like Kuldeep, who have given us great references in the startup ecosystem. We keep asking that. We keep getting that. Thank you so much. We have closed first few customers. We are looking at more growth now, and we are hopeful that we will start the next fundraise conversations in the next quarter or so.
Nice. Okay.
That's awesome. Yeah. Great to hear. Great to hear, Sandeep.
Great.
Yeah. Karthik. Yeah.
All right. So Sandeep, this has been great. Thank you so much. How is Yashu doing, by the way?
He is doing well. Unfortunately, our team had to go through COVID, but everyone has recovered, and he's doing good now.
This is like I don't want to minimize the impact of this, but it's kind of like baptism by fire, right? Like every startup has to go through this COVID test. But I'm glad you guys are doing okay, Sandeep. This is Good to hear. We know at least every other portfolio company of ours has at least one COVID case right now, which is really disheartening. Um, so one final question, Sandeep, given that you've just raised funding, right? I know it's a small victory. It's definitely not the end, right? It's a means towards an end. So from here on, like, what is your next immediate focus going to be? Is it hiring, or is it going to be product or growth? How do you think about balancing all of these things?
Right. So Karthik, I think we are done with the hiring in tech and other functions like product. Now we want to focus heavily on making the product robust and getting customers, getting early growth. That is what we are focusing on. That is the most important goal for us. We want to make sure that there is, if not product market fit at such an early stage, but there is a learning to shape that in the next year or so, where our product fits and what kind of insights that we can get to basically find out the larger areas where we can bring in a unfair advantage, unique differentiation inside the product. We have such sub hypothesis, of course, but we would love to bounce that to our customers once we have built a capability which is somewhere at par with our global competitors out there, through these early adopters, and then scale up. But of course, when we scale up, we want to make sure that we differentiate 10x by understanding those early signs of what to build on top of this that helps them become 10x better, and hence we become 10x better. So solving the customers problems is the main focus here for the next quarter or 6 months.
All right, that's fantastic, Sandeep. We wish you all the best. Hopefully, we'll see you soon once your next round funding is also on the line, or if you have any other milestones that you would like to, just trumpet it out to the world, right? You're always welcome, and hopefully we'll see Yashu also next time. Thanks for your time. I know you have to go back to work. Take care and enjoy home food and everything.
Thank you so much, Karthik. Thank you. And I would like to appreciate one thing. That every time I see your LinkedIn profile, the word is there: hustler, hustling. That's what startups keep. It gives me so much joy that a VC firm is also hustling in a way. And
it should not be the forte of entrepreneurs alone.
Entrepreneurs. No, I think, Sandeep. You know what, Sandeep? We call ourselves, as an entrepreneurial VC because we are from scratch. We're just starting everything.
We're a startup ourselves.
Pretty much like we are a startup ourselves in some form. So we just have to hustle our way through, to get into deals. Get money. All whatever that we do, right? It's pretty much like a startup at this stage for us. So that's one of the reasons, right? We just operate and we understand. We could relate to what happens with a startup also, literally. That. Yeah.
Glad. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sandeep. Great to have you. Wish you all the best. Stay safe. Take care of everyone. See you again soon on Freewheeling Friday. Thanks for joining us. Yeah.
Thank you. Have a good evening. Bye.
All right. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, that's a great note to, at least for Sandeep to end this conversation at least. Karthik, I feel good. I know.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm saying, it's good somebody is seeing, that we are recognizing what we are trying to do.
Correct.
Itself, yeah.
Yes. And also, I think just to refresh my memory, Vinod, Sandeep said that, we have spoken to him before, before GSF has also invested, right? If my memory serves right, I think we spoke with the founders and then we decided to track the company. Is that right?
Correct. We did because it was not in the sweet spot that we were looking at.
Right.
So we said we'll track, and then it also came through our partner when GSF.
Yeah.
He's right.
If Sandeep is still there, what I'm going to put you on spot now, Vinod. Okay, what has changed the second time around?
See, I think I always tell this, Nakartik, easily. Like, look, this is a game of risk and reward, right? Very, very clear, right? So, what is the price that you pay for it? What risk is so critical, right? So, as an investor, right? Once you like the company, you look at the price. It is the same thing for any product also, or anything that you buy in the market, right? You look at the product, you like the quality, or let's say you like the product in the first place, then you just check, what's the price? Is it worth paying this price, right? Pretty much the same, when we evaluate, right? If the risk is high, I obviously want at a lower price, right? So that, my reward can be, substantially higher. It is the same mechanism, that kind of, went into play even in this case. I think the first time when we saw, I think the risk reward ratio was not in our direction. I think the second time around, the product was same. We knew the founders still pretty much are the same, but the risk reward ratio was slightly, in the favor, or, in our sweet spot, if you wish, right? I think that is what kind of turned around, See, it doesn't mean that, this is always the case, but I think most times, right, we wouldn't go and buy a very expensive deal, right? Unless there's very valid reasons, right? I think that's exactly what happened in this deal. And I think that also says, look, we are very open to talking to people again. It's not like if we say no, it doesn't mean that's the end of the story, right? It's at a point in time and for a particular reason, which could be valuation. Sometimes it could be some other things for another time. We try and convey that as much as possible. But there are times, if you think, you want to talk to us again, you should always feel free to, ping us and share your metrics. And, if there has to be something, that kind of catches our eye again, if it is the same story, if it is exactly the same thing, it doesn't work right again. Yeah.
So one of the things that Sandeep mentioned about this interaction, right, was persistence, right? It sort of reminded me of Apurva Mehta's story, right, Instacart, and how he pursued investment in Y Combinator, from Y Combinator, right? It's like that guy, even though the applications were closed, he went ahead and ordered some beers for all the partners at YC, and that's how he got on the radar of YC. That's such a nice story. So Sandeep, if you're listening, right, maybe you will also have a nice story like that at some point, okay? Yeah. And I'm glad, we are going to be part of this story.
Yeah, I think Apurva Mehta, right, when that happened, right, deadline had got over, and he had got in touch with one of the partners, and the partner said, look, deadline's over.
Yeah.
So he went ahead and ordered that, and exactly, right, and they said, boss, we have to put you inside now. There's no choice.
Right.
In a way, right. And you won't believe, I did write to Apurva Mehta when he got funded by YC.
Wow, nice.
You know what I realized? As soon as he launched Instacart, right, I knew, we're going to have India copycat. And I was not at all surprised.
When was this?
This is
2012,
I'm
something
trying
like
to recall 2013, 14, maybe Karthik. Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, it might be somewhere there when he started. I did find out his email, wrote to him. I realized, there's going to be a copy immediately. You won't believe it. Less than 3-4 months, you had Grofers, you had one, not more than one player. Actually, Big Basket I wouldn't compare to Instacart, but Grofers was actually classic. Replica of Instacart, but without the delivery fee given the Indian context. So some interesting anecdote. Yeah, but it's a massive company today as it stands, Instacart.
So moral of the story is, if you want an investor to invest in you, be persistent, right?
Yeah.
Against all hustle, exactly.
Hustle. Yeah. Land up at Karthik's home, Bhargavi's house. Yeah. And email me.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Even if someone comes home, I'll serve you good lunch, but still probably pull out of the company. If we think it's not the right one.
Yeah, we're very good. We've already done that, isn't it, Bhargavi? We served lunch and pulled out of a deal, is it? We are nicer people, guys. We'll serve lunch.
That's sarcasm. Yeah. Okay. No, actually, you're right. Sometimes even if we are not investing, right, we will still stay friends against all odds, okay, and help you guys as much as possible. I guess that's in the DNA, man. It's like, exactly. I know, Bhargavi. we're just trying to convey it without taking the names. But yeah, I
don't
think
worry, it'll be in the
we're
news.
helpless. We can't help it. It's so difficult to say no, man. It's and you're in the business of saying no, right? Essentially, it's the other side of the same coin. And as much as you want to say yes to everything, you can only say yes to very few, right? But having said that, the one thing that we always write in our emails, right, even when we reject somebody, is at least be humble and accept that we might be wrong, right? We don't know, with whatever information that we have right now, we've come to a decision, but we could be like 99% wrong. We never know. This company could become a unicorn.
Yeah. No, I think
so.
Karthik, in the business, right? You said like we'll get wrong, right? Look, we basically in this business we need to get as many decisions as possible right. Obviously, we will go wrong. There's no running away from that. We will go wrong.
Yeah. Every day is a learning day. It's a new day. It's a learning day. We always learn something new. Yeah. Okay. So before we wrap up, I think Bhargavi, did you want to say something? Yeah. You were eager to say something?
Nothing.
No. Yeah. I'm just captivated by this whole SPAC thing. You guys go ahead and read that report in Bloomberg. I don't know if you did. It looks like this whole thing is coming crashing down.
Mm-hmm. So soon.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I don't have much exposure.
Yeah, so this is the first month that hasn't seen a single SPAC so far in the US.
It's actually interesting because now there are SPACs planned in other markets, right? Southeast Asia, I think in wherever regulation allows it, right? So it's going to be super exciting and interesting to see what happens. And people like Gojek or who from India?
Grofers are supposed to be.
Grofers.
Supposed to be. No idea.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know.
It's one of those rumor mills. Yeah. Rumor mills.
Yeah.
Zomato maybe, but Zomato is doing what?
Zomato is doing an IPO.
Proper IPO. Yeah.
Proper India IPO. No.
Yeah.
Proper India IPO. So there's one other company also which I heard, it's converted itself from a private limited to a public company. One other startup. I'm not able to recall the name. So they're also getting ready for IPO. So we should have like at least a couple of IPOs of startups in this year in India.
I think delivery is also in line, right?
Yeah. They're also in line. Crucial question, right? I keep asking, right? Now we are all excited to buy private market companies, right? Will you invest in Zomato or like if any of these guys come in the public market?
No. Wait and watch. I'll probably subscribe for IPO, but I know like there is 0.001% that I'll get it. But once it gets listed, generally incremental buys, right? You don't go and buy in a big cluster. That's what I have been doing for other companies also. Because I burnt my fingers whenever I did a big cluster purchase, companies which have IPO'd. So that's what I would do. Incremental buys, not SIPs, but incremental buys, like once a quarter, just keep tracking what's happening types.
Got it. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'll buy into the startups because I already feel, compared to the private market valuations, they're all like highly overvalued.
Absolutely. Yes.
So I would wait and see.
So I don't know about Zomato specifically, guys, but I think if it is like a SaaS company that is going public, it looks like a couple of SaaS companies might be on their way to going public, right? I think that would be something that I would be keen to subscribe to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think typically SaaS companies, right? My guess is they won't go public in India. They will, we are hearing about Freshworks, right? Expected to go public on NASDAQ. So I think most large SaaS company would prefer that because, I don't think so Indian public market investing, bulk of them, understand what exactly goes on behind a technology SaaS company with like 80-90% margins, right? Not yet, I think. So there's a lot more demand I think
I wouldn't think it's lack of understanding locally, right? I think it's just more value. They get more value outside. I would
demand,
put it
Bhargavi.
that way. Yeah,
Demand.
yeah.
Because people understand there is more demand. That's all right. Look at companies
Yeah,
like
that's what. So the value for current investors, right? I think that's much better
exactly.
outside India than in India. Whether that value is justified or not is a totally different story. But it's good for the investors and founders to list outside. So that's why. Otherwise, I wouldn't discount the local investors or local fund managers, right?
We've not
I,
seen
I,
it. We've not
but I
seen
also
it
think
yet.
that the market also, right, is something that will be making much more sense if you're listing it in US, right? Because most of the clients are obviously coming from a US market, a
Yeah.
Western market predominantly. I think that also plays into the valuation, like you said, Pargavi. But you're right.
Yeah.
I think if we can get access to some of those companies, that would be great. I've been advising my sister to do it left, right, and center. There's so many companies going public in the US, like amazing companies.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All in
Awesome.
all, more liquidity for our ecosystem. If these companies go public.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Okay.
great. Yeah, that's great, Karthik. Anything else we have, or we're good?
Yeah, I think we'll wrap it up. I just saw Disney's quarterly call, Disney Plus quarterly call, and I was just fascinated. Apparently they just made like 70 cents on each average revenue per user per month
Mm.
in India, right?
Oh,
And it has plummeted apparently because of IPO. It's just so strange how that entire
IPL.
company, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
IPL. So the entire company is so dependent on this one event. It's a huge risk, right? In a way,
Yeah, absolutely.
it's like
I
totally
think
driven by this ridiculous event. Uh,
you don't watch cricket, so don't make it ridiculous. A lot of people do. So poor,
no, I do,
I
I
think
do. IPL, I don't.
I think people may publicly not acknowledge it because it looks very insensitive. I think a lot of people miss watching it. Is my guess
I'm
actually.
sure. I'm sure. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. No, I can totally understand, man. Because it's IPL is huge. Um, I think a lot of people would love to stretch their legs a little bit and then enjoy a match after coming home, right? I don't think that's going to happen now.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
positive
Yeah.
thoughts, positive thoughts. Hopefully it'll get better
Yeah.
soon
Absolutely.
it'll get
It
soon enough.
should get better from here, hopefully, man. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so it's that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll wrap it up a little bit quickly,
Yeah.
and we will see you next week.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
stay
See you all.
safe. Bye. Have a good
Take care.
weekend.
Take care.
All
Yeah.
right,
Bye
take care.
bye.
Get vaccinated if possible.
Yeah. Play the fastest finger first.